What if everything you want is on the other side of just showing up? Like, what if your path doesn't look like anyone else's? And what if following everyone else's models for success, like the strategies and the formulas and the step by step everything, what if that's actually stopping you from creating your version of real success? I'm going to be real with you guys. I really didn't want to show up today. I have procrastinated all day. Like it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. I've been awake since 5:30 and my only intention for today was to create some content, but it's taken me that long to get through the resistance, to just show up because I'm scared. I'm really scared and there's this story that me just showing up in my authenticity and me just speaking from my heart isn't enough. I've got to make sure that I've got a really engaging video that's going to draw people in and follows a particular formula. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time. And what happens when I create from that level is that it's meaningless. Like I look back at my content that I've made and I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it's got no depth. It's got no connection. There's no me in it because I'm trying to follow everyone else's rules. And if I'm really honest, what I'm feeling at the moment is I'm so frustrated. Like I feel so constricted and I feel like there's this something inside of me that wants to come out into the world and I'm not letting it. I keep getting in the way and it's not me, like it's not my true self. It's all my limitations and my programs and it's everything I think I know. Everything I've learnt because I've studied so much. It's actually cock blocking me from just showing up in my true authenticity, which I believe is how we actually create depth and meaning and real connection with people. I don't want to be someone who turns the camera on and feels like I have to perform. I don't want to be someone who's just creating content for the sake of creating content. I have something inside of me that wants to come into the world and it feels like my calling. And I keep not doing it because I'm too scared, because I'm trying to follow all of these guidelines and rules and it's stopping me from just trusting myself. But if I'm honest, I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm 38, I'm single, I have no savings, I have nothing to lose. So what if I just fully followed my own path? What if I fully trusted myself? What if I just did it my way and see what happens? It feels like that's what I'm being asked to do, but it's scary. It's scary because I'm following a path that doesn't look like everyone else's. And there's all this information and opinions and everything outside of me and inside of me, if I'm honest, is saying, oh, that's not how it's done. Look at everyone else. They're doing it this way. I'm pretty sure you should do it that way because that's proven to work. Well, I've also proven that it doesn't work because I've tried it all. And so, what would happen if I fully trusted and followed what feels true for me? I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm looking around at all these models for success and I'm like, I feel like they're way more complicated than it needs to be. So I'm in this curiosity of like, okay, well, what does it really take for us to create our own version of success? What does my version of success look like? And how do I get there? Because I feel like if we just follow our highest excitement and our alignment, we can create our most wildest epic dreams without all the hustle, without all the pushing and forcing and striving. What if it gets to be way more simple than that? And so I've been looking around at the people that I perceive are actually thriving, the creators who are doing what they love, having massive impact, making millions of dollars, but doing it from a place of like excitement and joy. And they're thriving in their physical health, they're thriving in their relationships. There's no burnout. I'm like, what's that about? Because that's what I want. I want sustainable success. I don't want to, do a big launch and build a million person following or whatever and then not be able to do anything for 3 months. That doesn't feel true. And over again, I see the same three pillars that allow these people to kind of connect to something so much greater than them and create from their highest joy and excitement. And in the process, create impact, create income because they're creating things that are valuable to humanity. They're creating from this place of like joy and excitement and alignment and divine inspiration and then giving those creations back to society to make the world a better place and thriving in the process. And what I see over and over and over again is that they have their physical health dialed in. They really honor their body. They train, they eat well, they prioritize recovery, they have their physical health dialed in, which means that their vessel is strong, it's powerful, they feel good in their body, which means that when it comes to the next pillar, which is connecting to the divine and receiving inspiration from that unlimited field of potential, God, universe, divine matrix, whatever you want to call it, they have like an open communication with that. And then they have a creative practice that allows them to bring through that inspiration, turn it into something of value whether that's content or books or programs or podcasts or art or music or whatever it is, and give that back to society, which means they have this like self-sustaining model that allows them to keep expanding and keep growing and keep creating without all the push, force, hustle, strive. So I'm like, okay, how can I implement this in my own life? What am I missing? Because I have experienced having all three dialed in, but separately. I've had a time in my life where I was so on point with my physical health and my body felt so strong and powerful, and I was training and eating really well, and I looked and felt really good in my body, but I wasn't aligned to the divine and I wasn't creating. And then I've had a time in my life where I was super tapped into my spiritual practices. I was meditating every day and journaling and receiving that intuitive guidance, but my health wasn't amazing and I wasn't creating anything. And then I've had an experience where my creativity was dialed in, where I was drawing every single day and I was getting really, really good at drawing insanely realistic portraits. But again, my body was suffering and it wasn't coming from somewhere greater than me. So it was actually just ego. And it felt meaningless. It felt like, yeah, I can draw pretty pictures, but what's the point of that? Because it wasn't coming from something greater than me. And so I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, what would happen if I had all three? Where I'm at right now, it's like I feel like I'm really connected to the universe. I feel like I'm being divinely guided, but I'm not creating as much as I would like to because my physical health isn't amazing. I don't feel good in my body. I haven't been honoring my vessel. And so it's like, okay, now I know where to focus. And so my question to you is, which one is it for you? Like, where are you at? Is it your physical health that needs to be dialed in? Or maybe you've got that on point, but you're not connecting to the divine. Or maybe it's that you don't have a creative practice or you haven't found what inspires you. Or maybe it's two. I would love to know, like, chuck it in the comments. Which one do you get to focus on now? Because it's like with the power of awareness, we then get to make shifts. And so that's my focus right now. I'm like, okay, I get to learn to honor my body in service to my vision, in service to this calling that is calling me forward so that I can show up for humanity, because that's what I want to do. I don't want to just create content. I want to create connection and meaning and do something impactful with my life. So I just hope that this video has given you like a bit of a perspective shift and maybe even just a bit of relief. You know, you don't have to follow everyone else's rules. You don't have to follow anyone else's models. You can figure it out for yourself. You can find your own truth. And what if it's way more simple than we think?